Right up in here is where I used to camp and wild horse hunt. We're about 9,000 feet here. Those are all birch trees along the creek. We used to have a big camp right here, and we used to build a horse corral here out of ropes and T-posts and put the horses right up against the creek up there. And we used to go fishing. And we'd ride on up here. From here on up was wild horse country. There was no roads from here on up at that time. Wild roses all through here. And there's Maryland. There's Maryland. This is pretty. This was our camp spot, Maryland.
Was it?
This is where we used to take ropes and T-posts and put it, and we put the horses right up against there.
Did you?
And there's where we had our big trailer, big tent and everything.
Oh, all the roses.
Yeah, I've already done that. Anyway, there's Montgomery Peak up there.
I have to get my shoes on.
All right. Boundary Creek Trailhead. Boundary Creek Wilderness. Please leave no trace of practices along good stewardship in these places. That shows you where we are. This is where I used to camp with the horses. And we went on from here and would go in here, and from there on we'd chase the wild horses over these mountains. I saw my dad come off that mountain one time right there. All the way off the top. I've ridden on that mountain. When you go up there that high, that's 13,000 feet. You can see all the way to the state of Utah. You'll see one mountain range upon another mountain range, from one mountain range upon another. Know the risks. This is a place that's wild. Always carry a map and a compass. Carry water, food, and water production. Know your health and physical limitations. You may encounter wildlife and know how to protect your food and yourself. You are entering black bear habitat. This is the roads where we used to take our horses to go after the wild mustangs up in here. There were some good ones in here. This is the trailhead. You can see this is a very wet country in here. Boundary Creek Wilderness Register. This was where I was. I have pictures of wild mustangs in this meadow right here. It's Boundary Montgomery Peak up there. There's a grouse up here, and you can hear them drumming and making noises, and just beautiful country. It's a wilderness. I lived in this place in 1957, 1958, 1959, and part of 1960. Wild gooseberries. Wild gooseberries, Maryland. Wild gooseberries, Maryland. I know you can't hear me, sweetheart. Wild gooseberries.
Oh, really?
Yes. Right here is where we camped. I thought it was down at the other one, but it wasn't. It was this one here. Right here is where we had our tent. Our tent was right here. And this is Boundary Creek Trail Canyon. You want to come in and see some wild fish? I caught fish right here 63 years ago. Right here is where our camp was. Looks like that's an old camp ring there, fireplace ring. There's wild trout in here. The horses would get ticks on them. We'd have to pick the ticks off the horses from these deals. We threw up a T-post out here and went around like that. And right up against this thick growth here is where the horses would go up. They wouldn't get out there in the growth because they had plenty to eat here, as you can see. And our camp was right here. Right here is where our tent was. This was it. And then from then on, that was it. You be careful. What? What? Look in the creek. And you can see the fish playing in here. This is where I caught fish 60 years ago. Over 60 years ago. I caught a very large trout in here, right at this elbow. I had a cook stove set up right outside here, and I hung ham and stuff from the limbs. And we put our food down in there, milk and whatever we wanted, butter and everything else. We put it in the cold stream.
There's some wild iris.
Yeah.
Right there, but
There's wild onions in here too, Marilyn.
is there?
Yes.
See
Wild
right
onions.
there? The
Yeah.
iris?
Yeah. You want to walk and look at the creek? Can you get over there?
Well, I'm trying to. It's a bumpy road.
Yes. I haven't been on this place in many years. That's why I made the mistake a while ago of where the camp was. And back up another canyon up here to the left as we're going down is where you go to the over Queen Saddle. When I was on the White Mountain Road Committee, I made them promise that they would leave that road open to Pine Saddle. And so far they've done it. How do you like that, girl?
Isn't it beautiful, Dad?
Every canyon is like this.
Look at that.
Yeah. I fished right here.
You did? I bet you
I was
got a fish.
living right here, and Hank Patterson, these kids come up here and laughing at me.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, we lived up here in 57, 58, and 59,
This is beautiful.
and a little bit of 60, I think. Yeah, it's beautiful.
You catch fish here?
Yes, there are fish. You can see the fish in there. Every now and then you'll see them running. I've got it all on camera here, girl. All right, this is the trailhead. This is where we camped. Right here. There was an old orange, 60-something years ago. There was an orange, about 1941 Dodge pickup here with a horse trailer. Red Rocket was there. Red Ears. Old Red. We had another horse also. I can't remember his name. We took up here. Anyway, that was our horse corral right there. With T-post running out there and coming around this way, driven into the ground. And when we put ropes to keep the horses in here, and there's how they got water, we threw them hay and grain in there, and they ate this grass.
Isn't that neat?
A long time ago. Long time ago, girl.
And it's still here, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm almost not, but it is. There we are. Let us go. I got to try to show this one more time. I was sitting down there with a fish hook in my finger, a treble hook buried deep in my finger, and I was afraid I was going to get in trouble with my dad. I couldn't get it out, tried to cut it out and everything. My dad was coming off the top of that mountain, coming down there, riding a horse. I don't remember whether it was red or Jack McMillan's horse, or not Mac, but not Jack McMillan's horse, but what was the name of that restaurant in Bakersfield, Maryland?
I don't know what you're talking
No,
about.
the one where I took you there a couple of times.
There's a lot of restaurants, Jim.
The Basque one, where I told you that Dale had his horse. Frank Mattia. Frank Mattia's horse. I don't know whether it was Frank Mattia's horse. I think it might have been. He came off the top of that mountain, coming down that mountain, all the way down. Rode that horse straight down that mountain. When he got down here, he had no horseshoes on him. He'd wore his horseshoes completely out. And I had a fish hook in my finger. And my dad looked at me and he said, "Well, Jimmy, you're pretty tough." He said, "I can't stand to do this. I've got some side cutters." He said, "I'm going to go get the side cutters." And he said, "What you have to do, Dad, son, is you got to pull that fish hook all the way out where the hook. We got to cut the other hooks off." It was the treble hook. He said, "You got to pull that out and cut that point off of that other hook, and then you can pull it back through." I had cut myself to pieces trying to get it out. And I did it. And that's where it happened right there. And he came down straight off of that mountain. Oh, it's good to be here again before I'm gone. Marilyn, don't get out, baby. Marilyn, don't get out, baby. All right, here is the rock that I've been looking for, that everybody else wants to know where it is. There it is. With all the petroglyphs on it and the duck. I think the road has grown up quite a bit since then. There is the duck, and there's the rock. Right there. There it is. After all these years I found it. Now if I can find my truck. Thank you, Father. We gotta come down here. There's where that rock is. Got real close to it. I found it. I think I missed my deer a while ago.
Well, how much further?
It's just a little way further, Marilyn. Come on. Come on. Come right up here. Come right over here. Come right over here. Follow me. Follow me right here. Come on. When you come right here where I'm standing, you're going to have a very exciting time. Okay? Come right on up here.
My breath.
There's the rock that nobody says is here. Come on, Marilyn, you're almost inside of it. These trees grew up in front of that rock since I was here the last time. You see that rock? Come right up there around that bush.
Oh my gosh.
What do you think? See the upside down duck? That's the rock I stood in front of over 30 years ago when they wrote that newspaper article about me.
Isn't that amazing?
Get up there and stand by the rock now so I can get you on video.
Okay.
You went all this way.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, go on up there close to it. I want you to put your hand on it.
I want to take your picture.
That's all right too. That's okay also. That's the rock that that Art wants me to show him.
Oh my gosh, dude.
That's what he wants me to show to him.
Oh my goodness.
Go up there and put your hand on it there, girl.
Just a second.
Not very many people have seen that. Looks like somebody broke some chips off of it. There you are.
Right here.
I stood right there.
Right here, honey.
I stood right there 40 years ago when they did the newspaper article on me. There you are. Now if you come here, of course I'm all messed up with my hair all over which direction and everything too.
I'm going to take a picture with this one.
Okay. That's the rain falling. This is the place of the ducks.
Where's the rain?
That's rain. This is the rain.
Where's the ducks?
Oh, the duck is right there. That's the duck. That's the duck right there. This always does better in black and white. I hope it shows up on this. See, these trees have grown up in the way of that tree in the last 40 years. You want me to take that picture? You want me to stand in front of it here?
Yeah.
Just like I did. I don't have my hat on though. Go ahead. I'm trying to mark the way. There's the caves up there. And right directly on this side, there's a rise here and falling down in there in that rise. There's that mountain there, right straight back in there about 100 yards is that rock. These trees were not here the last time I was up here. We're coming up this rise, right on up above those, and they're like that. And the caves over here, turning around right here. And there are caves up on the side of that hill up there too, I remember now. That's where they used to hide their baskets. And when they came back in here, pine nut picking again. Oh, here's the road right here. Here's a little cutoff road going down into that meadow. There's a road here going down into that meadow. And then right there, across there, is where the tree is. Just directly north of my truck. Right this way from that. Right back in there is that rock. That tree. There it is. Right back in there. That's where that tree is. And that rock. Well, maybe that'll help me find it again. Find out. Boundary Peak and Montgomery Peak. All right, with my old 300,000 mile truck still going, thank my Lord. We have to do one final beautiful view and picture here with our beautiful girl having her lunch and of this beautiful pond. And the fish are, I'm going to see if you can see the fish down there, maybe. There's hundreds of fish in there. Hundreds of fish. Looks like they've been fighting because they're spawning. The browns are spawning. Marilyn, could you give me a few little pieces of those corn chips? Just hand me some here. Just a little bit. Whether you can see those or not. They're not hitting. If I had some cat food, they did it. There's fish. The water is just working alive with fish. There's one that's been spawning there. He's all beat up. Hopefully you can see down in that water. All those little things, just hundreds of fish in there, hundreds. Very large brown right there. I don't know whether you see that fish or not. Well, there's our beautiful day. I did a lot of things today. There's my beautiful girl there. Looking down at the valley, about 8,500 feet high here. That's about 9,000, 10,000 foot range on the other side, 11,000. Down there is Rose Canyon. Wild roses all over. Boundary Peak and Montgomery Peak back up in there. Thank you for following us on our trip today. God bless you. Marilyn thought, that we ought to show you the wild roses. These are solid wild roses. This canyon is full of wild roses. That's a birch tree there. These are aspens over here. Pinyon pine trees with aspens. We're driving through the road here like this.
There's some more wild
And these are all wild roses below and underneath. It's like driving through a tunnel. In here we're in low range. Wild apples and all types of things in here. want you to understand that all of these bushes down low are all wild roses.
There, okay.
And when they bloom, this whole canyon smells like a rose. You can look on the other side over there. Those are all tall aspens in there. Some of them probably over 100 feet tall. Big Meadows, Trail Creek. That's where we are.
Oh, that looks like
There's
a nice one.
good camp spots down in there. All the pinyon pines. This is right up. The pond is only 9 miles from where we live. So this is actually less than 9 miles. All pinyon pines, and those pinyon nuts are very, very good. They say you can pick 5 pounds of those pinyon nuts a year per person. You're allowed to do that. At least that's the last thing I heard.
Is that the Indians or the white?
Everybody, as far as I know.
Anybody? Oh, okay.
That road straight ahead, or it's got a red road, that goes up to the B&B mine, which was the old Cinnabar or Mercury mine, and that's where they did that movie with Paul Newman, Hombre. Thought I'd give you a little bit more pleasure of watching this country up here. See if you come up and visit with us. I'll preach at you and preach for you and to you, and we'll take you up here in this beautiful country. This is what you get to see. So all you people over there in Australia and Africa and China, Japan, United Kingdom, Wales, Texas, wherever. A lot of things to see up here. Thought I'd give you a little road tour of this. They have just graded this road here. A little bumpy as you can see, but the person in the car could actually come up here if he had enough clearance underneath the car. You don't really need four-wheel drive, even though I'm in it. I use four-wheel drive for my vehicle to ride better. It takes about 30 minutes or less to get up here from our home to Trail Pond. You can see this is an extremely heavily wooded area. All kinds of pine trees and fir trees, willows, birch, wild apples,
Sagebrush.
and lots of white sage and rabbit brush. Now we're going to go down into Rose Canyon. This is Rose Canyon. We're going to go drive through a heavily wooded area again here. See, there's all kinds of vegetation and lots of wild roses. Marilyn, do you like this country?
I love it. I love this country.
Tell them about it so they don't have to listen to me talk all the time.
Well, if you like the wide open spaces, and if you like the timber, we got two worlds and beautiful little pink wild roses and wild blue iris and little red flowers and
lavender and purple.
All kinds of pretty little things to see. And
wild onions.
Yes.
Gooseberries.
And everything is, all the pine nuts come out of those pinyon trees,
Yeah.
and they're wonderful to cook with and put in your salads. And there's also
Currants.
Indian tea, which is good for you.
You might see some Indian tea in a moment. Yeah, there's some up on the side of that hill.
Yeah.
That light green, that's Indian tea. Just there for the taking. Right there. You could live off the fat of the land here.
And nice little fish.
Yeah, we've got a box full of fish back there. Now we're crossing Trail Creek. And then I'm going to go up a mountain here. So I'm going to let you see this mountain as we climb up this mountain in a few moments. Rocks all over the road here. I'm going to climb out of this canyon in a minute. Now we're going to go up to the right of this canyon. We saw that beautiful petroglyph today, very rare petroglyph. Everybody's always looking for. I knew where it was, but it had been over 20 years since I had seen it. And so it was not easy for me to find. Trees had grown up all around it. Mountain bluebird just flew across. Now we're going to go up this deep canyon. We're going up at a very sharp climb. I'll let you look down in the canyon there. Now there's lots of stuff. These are old Indian campsites here all over here. The Western Shoshone. This is the Western Shoshone boundary. And this is where they lived and they hunted. There were thousands of deer, antelope, bighorn sheep. And of course, a lot of native fish up in here. And on these rocks were sacred places that they put prayers upon them and asked grandfather is what they called him And we are, all of us, if we're God's children, He is our grandfather because He's Adam's father, the Bible says, the Son of God. So here we are going through the forest again. Right up here, not too far away, is another petroglyph. And there's another one I saw today that I hadn't seen for many, many years that nobody else knows is there either. I was very instrumental in trying to get the petroglyphs protected for years. People were stealing them and shooting them and blowing them up, hauling them off all over the place. I will see deer or wild horses here any place. We saw some big mule deer today. I don't know whether I got them on the camera or not. It's hard to see what's on the camera to even see whether it's recording or not, because the screen is not very bright. Hope you're enjoying this tour through the wild country. There's all the wilderness back up.
There's bears around here too, isn't there?
There's a lot of bear, wolves.
Well, that looks like one.
Now that is a, what looks like a bear, or what?
See, that
That's a petroglyph. We're gonna go over here, and I see some tracks here, cat tracks. I'll show you an elaborate petroglyph here. If you haven't seen this, I don't think, before. That's a petroglyph. This was here for thousands of years. Thousands of years. This valley and the caves in this valley and these mountains is 6,000 years of occupation. 6,000 years of occupation. There's Marilyn. Wave at everybody. All right, well there's where I wanted to show you up until this point. God bless you. I hope you enjoyed our trip. Here's an antelope just above our house. That's a big antelope too. Quite an antelope. You see that? Hope I'm getting it in the camera. Kinds of wildlife in this country. Never know what you're going to see next. I haven't seen a bear today.
hold it. No, he got away. I wanted to get a picture of him.